So for those of you that haven't been following along, Innistrad had a really sweet zombie card printed, Champion of the Perished. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you get to put a 1/1 counter on this. So just one drop threat that scales up very large into the mid to late game. We've got 8 other 1-drop zombies to pair with this. We've got various decay cards that make zombie tokens that are great with this. Tainted Adversary, especially, you play this as a top end. This could secretly be a 5-drop at the top end of our curve too. It comes along with 3 zombies that makes this bigger and lets you go wide. One thing that this deck really feels like it has going for it is Crippling Fear. I think this sweeper in general is very powerful in this format, and when our deck is mostly in on tribal strategies, the fact that this is basically Plague Wind in a lot of situations is great. I also love the inclusion of Meathook Massacre, so this is a card that can let us turn our board into a bunch of reach. This could also notably not kill our larger things like Champion of the Perished. And when it does kill our own things, it drains our opponent. So this could kind of be used as a fireball at the end of things to clear things out, which is pretty powerful. This deck is playing a bunch of Infernal Grasp in the main deck. And I think this is a good example of one of the decks that can play a bunch of Infernal Grasps main, because we are an aggressively slanted deck, so we're looking to be racing a lot of the time, and the flexibility to kill whatever we want seems very reasonable. Why are we not playing the Zombie Lord from Kaldheim? What Zombie Lord from Kaldheim? Is that the 5-mana snow card? Probably because it's 5 mana. Is there a 5-mana snow card? Is that what I'm thinking of? Otherwise, tell me what the card name is. Yeah, it's 5 mana. Yeah. Because it's 5 mana and I'm playing an aggro deck. Speaking of aggro, let's mulligan that first hand. That doesn't do a whole lot. That seems fine. We bought a Meathook in the dark. Keep our lands. Meathook's Gut Swarm is funny. Just got back for a grueling timeout, and I gotta say my rights have never felt so infringed upon. Surely I won't get another one in succession. Surely not. I think we Jadar and get him going. He gives us a Decayed Zombie at the end of every turn. What does Meathook plus Gust Swarm do? I assume it just drains your opponent for infinite, right? Nice. This is such a good curve. We get to do this, then we get to do this. Really impressive start here for our deck. I don't want to trade this. We attack for 5, and then this is going to make another Decayed Zombie, which will pump up Champion of the Perished. So now Champion of the Parish gets big enough that it can't trade with Yasharn. If they block this Lord, they take 9, 10, 11, 12. I think we ship it, right? Give up the Lord. Ghoulcaller plus Champion of the Perished is, kinda gasoline. That was sick. Man, that was really impressive. I don't know how I want to sideboard, chat. Usually if I don't know how I want to sideboard, it means we just shouldn't. We're the beatdowns. Throw on some grafted identities in here. Thanks for the follow, mascot. When in doubt, less is more. Just don't sideboard with your aggro deck is usually good. A good idea. Do I need 5 sweepers in this matchup? Oh, your Sharn does stop it. Good call. Bloodline Culling might be better than a couple of our Meathooks. Because it kills Yasharn or clears out some tokens. So it was mentioned on one of Magic's social media pages that this was one of the non-final artwork versions for Grafted Identity, and Arena somehow had the non-final version go to release. So I imagine it'll get updated at some point in a patch. I just want chat to know that we're on the draw, and if I miss on my second land, it's because you at home didn't believe hard enough. So I'm gonna need you to channel your energy here, chat. This is very spiteful energy, chat. I'm gonna need some more positivity in your channeling. This is a very spiteful second land. Thank you. I appreciate you, chat. Thank you. Thank you for getting the negative energy out of here and getting us to what we deserve. Never forget, the Magic is a skill-based game that's low variance where the better player always wins. Wow, that's actually really good. Yikes. Yeah, Brutal Cathar living up to its name box. Maybe offering my 3-1 into this was wrong. Untapped land would be absurd here. Wow. Didn't draw our 4th land on curve, chat. Can you believe how unlucky we are? How do you file for comp on Arena? I know, we deserve it. Look at the fear in their dojo, chat. You just gotta look deep into their soul as you attack your 2-1 into their chariot. The Mega Knob, thanks for the follow. And Quintivis, thanks for the 28 months. Welcome back. I guess I could have Meathooked and killed the Brutal Cathar. Maybe I'm supposed to. I kind of want to wait for a land and just Crippling Fear now, though.
I will protect innocent spirits as if they were my home.
Think we just hook him now. Double Pope, thanks for the brand new sub. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. So we do this, the Shambling Ghast dies, the Ghast kills Brutal Cathar and gets us our champion back. And then they're gonna start taking damage when our creatures die. Hey, I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Do I want a treasure token for Crippling Fear? What if I just like said go here and like treasure token and Crippling Fear next turn? We'll draw a land. Good call. Just believe. I was told you could block warriors.
We must.
I guess if they have second Renin 7 here, my attack on their Renin 7's bad. It's a zombie card, give it toughness. It's still pretty good without it. For champion. I think they've stabilized here at this point. Ghoulcaller's actually pretty good. Because the Decayed zombies not only make the champion of the parish bigger, but they trigger Meathook Massacre. If we hit lands the next 2 turns, we might have a shot. These tree folk are pretty large, though. Definitely conceding to a good festival. It's a solidly average festival. If they get aggressive here with their tree folk, they could die to Crippling Fear. This is a free attack. How do you get that champion style? I think it was the pre-order bonus. If I recall correctly. Oh, it's the 45 or 90 pack purchase, sure. It was something. They have a Cave of the Frost Dragon here too. We'll see how they attack. We might be dead on board, but I'm also not counting. But again, ship their creatures in before we decide what we're gonna do. dead. We block 4, we take 8. It's fine. We get to be on the play for this next game. Honestly, seeing how that game played out, I don't think I ever board out my meat hooks. They're so good. Jadar would be, well, it'd actually be worse in some situations if it made non-decayed zombies. Because them dying and guaranteed getting one every turn is very good with Champion of the Perished. It's also good with Meathook. It wouldn't make them die every turn when they were attacking, though, MK all day. Is an important distinction. Yeah, I talked about that, Beansy. I don't know. If I attacked them the turn I attacked Ren, they wouldn't have gone to the life total they went to. They would have blocked. I should have been greedy and bought him the land and kept the extra creature. I mean, like, the deck's worse without its best 1-drop on 1. I don't even know why I need to say that. I'm gonna save this to play on 5. 5-6? 5-6? Yeah, I think so. Cadillac here. And then from here, I imagine we need a Crippling Fear or a Meathook Massacre to punch through. We just say no blocks here and then punch them next turn, right? Why is Desolator Magic a block term here? Because he's a really terrible human being. Am I okay trading this for a cat? Probably not. Thanks for the follow, Ethan and Jack. So, one thing I'm coming around to feeling out is it feels like a lot of people think that a good standard format means there aren't popular cards in it. Yeah, or a little bit before that, Smash Checks. I'll probably play this deck for like hour and a half or so and then start Pokemon. Like, good formats have good gameplay. They don't not have popular cards. So, like, there's always going to be meta-defining threats that are more popular than other things. And Chariot is a meta-defining card in this format, yes. There will always be best cards. The reason why Eldraine Standard is so widely and appropriately lauded as having been terrible was because the best things in Eldraine Standard meant that your games were never decided by inches, they were decided by miles. Things like Adventures and Fires of Invention and Emergent Ultimatum, these things went really far over the top of other things. There were no decks that cared about incremental advantage. Cleave doesn't care about incremental advantage. It's a game of miles, not inches. Stuff like that. Definitely behind, but if we find a Crippling Fear, we could still be in this. And they have the ability to festival again next turn, right? So I assume we're dead and gone here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Edmain. I was thinking maybe we'd have a group that was the more serious, more competitive people that I'm doing content with regularly in the evenings to make it easier to find people that are doing that, and then have a second group for people that are playing a bit more casually. Because it's definitely a good game that playing casually is something you can do. No, I don't think so, Shark and Bake. I think you need some diversity among the top decks. I don't think a one deck format where some people think the mirror is interesting is a good plan. is a good format. Okay. I think rock, paper, scissor formats tend to get a bad rap in card games because it's an oversimplification. I think especially in Magic, it isn't that my deck is good or bad into another one that makes the format good or bad. It's how good or bad into that other deck is my deck is the important question. So it's a matter of, like, you know, am I 45-55 or 60-40, or are we like 70-30, 80-20? Also, it's a question of, in Magic especially, and other card games don't have sideboards, is how much can I impact my 60-40 post-board, right? Like, if I have a 60-40 game one that I can bring to a 50-50 or slightly ahead for me in the post-board games, that's still a very reasonable format. So as is often the case, nuance is important. I think I offer the trade of my champion for their 2 wolves here. We push 5 damage, then I can fire up Hive next turn. These having Death Touch makes them really good against these creature decks for pushing damage. Yeah, that's true too. The quality of the gameplay, how the games feel to play on average is also important. Big agree. All right, green deck. Do I want, like, more removal spells in the draw? Maybe I just don't want all 4 Infernal Grasps here. This is a little bit slow at the top end since it comes into play tapped. Is GRN still the best recent standard? Okay, I need to hurt you for a minute here and remind you that GRN standard was 3 years ago. So I'm not sure that falls under recent. You seen any control decks with potential? We played Grixis Control yesterday, and it wasn't completely embarrassing. I have both Esper and Sultai in the deck queue. Oh, I don't have Sultai. I have Esper in the deck queue. I have a Sultai deck that I built that I want to try at some point, but it'll be a little bit. We gotta work through deck submissions first. Yeah, if your format is older than my most recent child, it's not a recent format. Guess we do this and just push damage. Crunch, crunch. Next, you're gonna tell me Jay's Stoneforge standard wasn't recent. That's actually when I started playing competitive Magic. Was right at the tail end of that. My first SCG Open Top 8 was 9.5 years ago. My #1 piece of advice was, if you played Standard when Jace and Stoneforge were legal, make sure you have Tylenol on hand for your back. Alright, am I supposed to attack the Skaab into the chariot to push 7 points of damage? I could just ship the Crawler and the Ghast. It's probably the play. The problem is they're going to be able to make a Troll token and equip accrue the chariot and copy a 4/4 next turn. It's pretty bad for us either way, though. Last time I played a Standard event, Eternal Witness and Sakura Tribe-Elder was legal. And damage didn't use the stack. And there was mana burn. We walked uphill in the snow both ways to our tournaments.
They prepare for war.
Damage using the stack was dumb. You mean it was skill testing and it allowed me to beat people who didn't understand the rules of Magic? We're dead, right? I guess we'll attack them with everything, but this game's probably over. We don't have any traditional reach in our deck, right? It's like we're gonna crack them for 10 here, but then they're gonna stabilize very hard at 5. Their board's gonna go wide with really big. Am I just dead? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Crush me, Chariot. Meathook is reach. Kinda. It's like, it's reach. People tell me all the time that knowing dumb interactions and bugs with Runeterra is part of the skill in the game. I'm just like, LOL. Yeah. Yeah, and Runeterra not having a rulebook, I feel like, actually has more of those than Magic. Like, I actually think when the rules are unintuitive, you should change the rules to match the intuition, generally speaking. And a good example of that, and one place I think Magic has failed, that Magic would be better off, is in Magic, when your spell loses all of its targets, the spell gets countered, and the parts of it that didn't involve targeting also don't happen. And that's one of those rules that, like, really gets new players a significant number of times, and it's really unintuitive, and I feel like it's one of those rules that probably should have been changed by now. Whistling only feels intuitive to you because you've been playing Magic for too long now. Yes, yeah, it is in fact, and in fact, Magic has been templating a number of cards slightly differently to play around stuff like that. It's why Prismari Command now says target player makes a treasure instead of you make a treasure, is because of stuff like that. For the follow, add Rask and Soulcross. Good afternoon. Our aggro deck doesn't seem very good when it draws 5 lands, chat. We should cut some lands. Our land count is actually a little on the high side. I think we're at 23. It's for the follow 4 Graves. back up. We can peel a Crippling Fear next turn, we'll be in an okay spot. Could have Swamp for another Awakening? Maybe. I don't know, I feel like Awakening doesn't help us win games that we're losing. It's pretty slow and bad. Yeah, we're supposed to get more zombies with Crimson Vow, so there's a real chance this archetype just doesn't quite have the tools it needs until the next set drops. Hey Yoi, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon, Four Graves. I assume they have another blocker to play out here. And notable, they can't fight the adversary here because it has Death Touch, so these would trade. Alright, our opponent's hand was bad enough that we might win this game. I guess they're still at 14. Thanks for the follow, Vixen. The fact that this gained them 7 was so huge there. Pretty rough swing. We have a Blizzard Brawl here. I guess they attack, so maybe this Hive can steal, but likely. Yeah, we're just gonna be dead next turn, right? Alright, I'm gonna try one more with this, and then we might sneak in a third standard deck today. This deck doesn't seem particularly good. I might skip uploading this one. Definitely feels like we're just getting solidly outclassed and unable to get under these mid-range decks. Any Historic? We played Historic first thing this morning. We played Blue-Black Control, and it was excellent. So, Historic is less popular than Standard right now, so will always become before Standard. It'll be on YouTube this evening. Yeah, it's on my list of things that I want to play once I get through the deck queue press pick. For sure. Revitalize. Okay, so they're playing book combo. Yeah, our hands with Champion of the Perished on one seem really good, but our average draw feels pretty mediocre. Maybe we will throw this one on YouTube even if it's a dumpster fire, because it feels like it's something people will ask about. So having a point of reference seems good. And we're just getting brutalized. I'm gonna attack with this, and then we'll go thing, and then we can Crippling Fear next turn to clear blockers. Yeah, there was an aggressively slanted red-black mid-range deck. That won the challenge. Something pretty good. Land, instant, or sorcery from among them. That's cute. Okay, and then we're just locked out next turn, right? Yeah, let's play something else. This deck's not very good.